More rewards, more savings. With American Express Business Gold, earn up to $395 back in annual statement credits on eligible purchases at select shipping, food delivery, and retail subscription merchants, including the $155 Walmart Plus monthly membership credit and $240 flexible business credit. Enjoy the benefits of membership with the Amex Business Gold Card. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
Woo! The popsicle stick flies out of Eric's mouth, and Eric's like, what happened there? And we're like, you don't put used popsicle sticks in your mouth. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I'm your host, Joanne Crone, joined by the lovely Bree Tucker.
Why, hello, everybody. How are you?
I'm still chewing. We're eating.
We're snacking
here, guys.
today while we're recording. What are you eating?
I'm eating a Bear Bells protein bar, which is like the most delicious protein bar ever. Bear Bells, come sponsor us. I will talk about you for free. It tastes like candy. You get it at Trader Joe's. It's so good.
Well, let's see. I have a Magic Spoon protein treat. It's kind of like a keto-approved Rice Krispie treat, but it has protein because they keep telling me I need more protein in perimenopause. So I'm trying. I don't think this is what they necessarily meant, but I'll go for it.
Well, I think they do mean that, though. Because, okay, so I've been telling you about this new app I found that you take a picture of your food and it automatically finds what food it is and tells you your protein, your carbs, your fat, like all your macros and your calories. Because usually when I try to like track what I eat, I'm like, I don't want to take out my food and look for the food. And then that's me. So this, you snap a picture, it finds everything. It's unbelievable.
So like I could make dinner. Like my own made dinner of like roasted chicken and whatever, and it'll tell me what that is. Like it'll know.
Yes, it will.
Wow.
It's like magic. Like I took a picture. I make this beef enchilada skillet and I had leftovers today for lunch. I just took a picture of it and it figured it out. Now it told me, this is the first mistake it's made. I've been using it for 2 days. It said I had a pound of ground beef in there. I did not. It was like maybe a quarter pound because I used like 2 pounds of ground beef for the whole thing, and this was leftovers. Like this was like, yeah, it was wrong on that. But I just go in and I like organize it, and it's fine. We were at Starbucks this morning, and Eric was having a bagel, and he's like, "Take a picture of my bagel. Let's see what's in it." It did it. It found it was the bagel and knew that it had 2 tablespoons of cream cheese on that bagel. Just a lot of freaking cream cheese. But it got it.
That's amazing. It's just crazy the technology that exists. It's crazy.
But it's fun because also I put in my goals that I want some fat loss because I've gained some body fat. I don't like the body fat. It comes with aging. And of course, high protein is what everyone's talking about, Brie. High protein.
Less sugar, more protein.
Get this. My protein goal is 148 grams of protein a day.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of protein. It's a lot. But that's pretty typical now because no one's getting enough protein. So this bar has 20 grams of protein. I'm very happy with it. Very happy with protein distribution.
Mine has 12 grams of protein. So that's not
pretty
bad.
good.
And 1 gram of sugar. So that's not bad. I like it.
So if you guys are interested in this app, it's called Synopsis. I just should tell you because I know we're going to get a lot of messages. It's called Synopsis, and it is a paid app. It's like $4.99 a month. But like they have a 7-day free trial. So I'm on 7-day free trial right now, but I already love it. I love it.
I feel like I need to add in, like I got my Magic Spoon from our Thrive Market.
Yes.
Deal.
Yes.
I love the yummy snacks I'm getting there. But okay. Focus, Brie. Focus. Wow. Well, people are like, what is this episode about?
We wanted to do a lighthearted episode. So we bring you in talking our lighthearted things while we're eating. We're just having a conversation with y'all. It's like you're at a coffee shop with me and Brie, and me and Brie can't stop eating at coffee shops nor getting up to get straws or everything like that. So you're really kind of in it with us. Right now.
Yeah. This is it. This is it's our mid-afternoon snack break right now. I'm willing, like whenever you and I meet like in the late afternoon, there's always a snack that pops in there somewhere.
It's snack break. And if it was later, it would be wine or alcohol.
Yes.
But
a nice spritzer.
This episode, we just want to let you know you're not alone in the funny stuff your kids do. So we're going to share little funny stories about our kids, things where we're like, oh my gosh, how are they not dead already? Because kids do stuff, guys. Kids do stuff. You have to save them all the time. all the time. So if you feel like it's on you, like you're not doing a good enough job because your kids are so accident prone, it's not.
Oh, just wait.
We're going to share some things.
Yeah,
We're gonna
we
share
got
some
some
things.
stuff for you. So prepare to laugh. If you're
Mhm.
drinking a liquid, be aware you might spit it out while laughing, listening to this episode. But that's okay. And our kids may never speak to us again. No, I'm joking. Hopefully.
We're going for younger stories, children. So if you hear us talking about this, it's all younger stories. You're fine with us sharing and nothing embarrassing.
Yes,
So-
I had good ones, but I was like, that's teetering that line where they're going to come back to get me. So I'm not going to do that one.
Yes. So now let's get on with the show.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom Podcast.
Okay, guys. So when there is this gentleman that I follow on TikTok and Instagram, I love him to death. I believe it's like we were trying to figure out how to say his profile. It's either the Leighton Show or the Leighton.
I would say Leighton or Leighton. That would be what I'd be going between. Yeah.
Right. And he does and you may have seen it before. He does like the text messages from your teenagers or like the list of 10 things I've done that has pissed off my kids today. So like recently he had one about text messages from their teenagers and one was chicken broth. It's not the sweat of chickens, right? And then, does grandma have any kids? That was another text. And that just made me think of all the not dumb, take that back. What all the funny things that I've experienced with my kids before. And for the moment when it happens, you're going, what in the heck? Oh my God.
Yeah. My favorite account to follow for these, and I think his kids went off to college because he hasn't posted very often. He now has best of on there, but it was teenager pro tips.
Yes.
And so
you shared
it's just
those.
like
Share some
little things like charge your phone by first unplugging your mom's.
Hey,
that's pretty much it. How to talk to a parent. Hear parent say goodnight. Wait 30 minutes. Enter parent room. Give comprehensive account of your month. That's something I get a lot. 7:40 a.m. school drop off. 7:35 to 7:40 a.m. Asked to sign all the school forms.
Oh my gosh. Wait, okay. I have one to add in there.
Yeah.
Decide that you want to go off campus for lunch, even though you're not allowed to at school. Start texting your mom 5 minutes before lunch, asking her to email the school to let you leave.
Yeah.
Doesn't answer? Text her 30 seconds later, and then 30 seconds later, and then 30 seconds later.
Yes. Here's another one
Yes.
for us with teenage drivers. Proactively correct more experienced drivers.
Mine just tell me, stop it, Mom. I'm a good driver. I wouldn't be grabbing the handle if I thought you were.
Or the best time to ask a parent a question is when they are on a Zoom talking.
Oh my God. Or recording a podcast episode, right?
Or recording a podcast episode.
Yes.
I mean, we go through all of these throughout the years and sharing some from younger so that both me and Bree keep our lives and our relationship with our children.
There we go. We do know this is a long game, so we can't publicly humiliate them on a podcast. Can you do you remember me the other day telling you I'm trying to take on a new mindset in parenting? It's called 90s parenting, but it's not parenting us the way our parents did. No, you know this because I told you about it. But
I think you need to tell the whole story behind it, Bree.
Remind me where to start that story.
So we were in Vegas.
Okay, we were in Vegas. We were on the plane, right?
Yes.
We were on the plane in Vegas and my Ring app went off and it made me remember a story I wanted to tell you that like a couple of days before we left for Vegas, Saturday morning, I'm in bed and for some reason, like my Ring app goes off. So I look at it and my son went outside. He left the house at like 8 a.m. and I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then he came back in at like 8:05. And I looked at my husband and I'm like, hey, Robert went out like an hour ago. What do you think he was doing? And Miguel just laughs and was like, put the phone down. And I'm like, why? And he goes, you shouldn't be spying on them. I'm like, I am not spying. The Ring app alerted me that he went outside. I'm just curious. Why would he get up to go outside at 8 a.m? And he's like, oh my God, you have to stop. So I sat there for a minute and I'm like, am I really out of line? And then I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. So my 90s parenting philosophy is if it was something my parents didn't know I was doing in the 90s and couldn't track, I'm going to try really hard not to track it with my kids.
Well, okay, so here's the line though, because something like this happened last night to me, and like Josh got mad at me for doing it, but I didn't think I did anything wrong. So I might have done something wrong. I come home after mountain biking and my daughter's gone. Like it's 7:00 at night and my husband and son are like in his office and I'm like, where's Kim? And my husband's like, I don't know. She was just here and she's not here anymore. And I'm like, well, her car's gone. And I like pulled up Life 360 and I'm like, she's like going down like the street. She's driving away from the house. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm watching her and I'm like, oh, she's going to Pilates. And I was looking at the time and Pilates starts at like the hour. So like, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And she had just left at like 6:55. I'm like, oh, she's going to be at Pilates. And Josh is like, yeah, she's there. What? Okay. First of all, she's 16. She told no one where she was going. She just left the house.
That is it. Like I have that I get unhinged when my kids just get up and leave the house and don't say bye, don't say where they're going. And I have asked them before, I want you to at least say, bye, Mom, I'm leaving. Like that's a bare minimum. And my daughter does bring back to me, and I'm going to guess maybe this was your daughter's thought process. She's like, why do I need to tell you? You have Life 360. You can track me everywhere I go. So you just look at the phone and you'll see that I'm not at the house. And I'm like, that's not the point. And then I'm like, wait, is it the point? Like, I'm wondering now.
And you're like, but I'm trying to practice 90s parenting and I can't do it if you don't tell me where you're going.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't care if you make 6 stops, like, while you're out and about, or like, you're like, hey, we're going to go to Subway with my friends. And then you guys end up going off doing something else. But I mean, I don't know.
It's like, I don't want to track you every second of the day. I actually had to tell my son that like he needs to tell me too, because he started leaving. Since my daughter started leaving without telling me, he started leaving just to like go around the neighborhood and stuff. And I spent like 5 minutes looking for him in the house. And I was like, Eric. And I'm like, 5 minutes. Because Life 360 told me he was in the house, but he wasn't there. He was actually in the park behind the house, but I didn't know to look there. Like I thought he was.
That would have gotten to me too. Yeah, especially because he's younger. Yeah,
but he does like comply with it. He's like, Mom, I'm going to the park. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
thanks for letting me know. Yes, so that's our current struggle, guys, with our kids. We want to tell you some other stories that happen with our kids right after this.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Zysol is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Zysol keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all. Take Zysol. At night.
Are your ulcerative colitis symptoms proving difficult to manage? Tremfya guselkumab can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. At 1 year, many patients taking Tremfya achieved clinical remission, and some patients also achieved endoscopic remission. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor if Tremfya can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Okay. I have a very funny one that was the first one to pop into my head because it happened last night. So we had a lot of leftover takeout food boxes in the fridge and it was bugging me. And I'm like, you know what? I am not cooking a whole meal tonight when we have more than enough food in the fridge for all of us to eat and get cleaned out. So I ignored the meal plan and instead I went with we're going to eat leftovers. My husband, totally cool with it. He's the one who always eats leftovers in the house. But my daughter decided that was just wrong. Ugh, I don't want to eat any of that food. I'm like, then why do you bring it home and leave it in the fridge and then never eat it for like 2 weeks till it starts to grow legs and then I finally throw it away? And she's like, I just don't feel like eating it. So then she went upstairs to her room. 2 hours passed by and I'm like, honey, it's like 9. She goes to bed. She hasn't eaten yet. He's like, that's fine. That's her deal. So I go in her room and I'm like, have you eaten tonight? And she goes, no, there's nothing good to eat. I'm like, whatever. You're going to get sick. No, I'm not. I'll be fine. I go, okay, fine. But you know what? You do not get to miss school tomorrow because you wake up with a migraine or you're sick or you're nauseous or you don't feel good because you didn't eat. So yeah, I don't understand why my 16-year-old thought it was a good idea to go on a hunger strike because she didn't like the dinner choices last night. I feel like I went back to like having my 2-year-old.
Did she have a migraine this morning?
I don't know. I made it very clear and she said, she was like, fine, no problem. So even if she wasn't feeling good, knowing my daughter, she's got that personality where she wouldn't have admitted it come hell or high water because she put her foot down yesterday. So,
Bree, do you have a migraine today?
Yes, I do. I did.
Could it be related?
No. Well, yes and no. Like mine was dehydration. I did not drink enough last night. I could feel it coming. I had a busy HOA meeting, man. No.
Those HOA meetings, man, I don't know. Like I always picture Parks and Rec, the TV show.
It's
with
close
the city
to
council
that.
meetings.
Yes, it's very close to that. Somebody got thrown out last night. We'll leave it at that because that's not the point of this one. Yeah. So my daughter went on a hunger strike because of leftovers.
So we've had to save our kids for multiple things.
Yeah.
We live in Arizona and we have scorpions here. Now, they sound a lot worse than they are, but they're pretty bad. They're like, we didn't have scorpions in Tucson. I don't get why Phoenix has so many scorpions.
So they have them, but just not as many. Like people didn't have
Yeah,
them
they weren't in the homes. They weren't anywhere in the house. But like here,
Tucson's
like,
still kind of like spread out though. There's space in Tucson where I feel like we're on top of one another in Phoenix.
No, there's not. I mean, it's really not that different. But there's scorpions everywhere and they look like tiny. If you looked at the palm of your hand and like, you know, the circle in your hand that like if you cup your hand, it makes like that circle. That's about the size of a scorpion that you see normally here. It's very, very rare to see like the huge big ones. And when the huge big ones are there, I like scream and run the other direction.
As fast as you can because those suckers are quick.
As fast as you can. But the little ones, we're a little vicious to the scorpions. So I'm sorry, any of you scorpion lovers here, I'm a scorpion murderer.
Oh, so am I. Yeah. Miguel will save them. And I'm like, oh, hell no.
Those things hurt. I mean, my husband put his hand down on one on the floor. I have never heard him scream. I heard him scream that time. He screamed. He was on the couch for like 2 hours with a bag of frozen peas on his arm. And you have to stay as still as possible because if your heart rate raises, the poison
through the blood
moves closer to your heart. I mean, that is how these things are. They're not to be toyed with. So I'm here defending my stance as a scorpion murderer to tell you that they need to all die. My daughter was probably 7 or 8 and she had some blankets around her. She was just playing around. I was in my bedroom. We had like a little balcony that went off our bedroom. She went out onto the balcony and she took the blankets off and I see out of the corner of my eye a scorpion right on her arm, her upper arm. Like it was on the blankets and it traveled to her. And immediately she's like, ah! Like anyone would be.
Yeah.
Mom!
Yeah.
A scorpion!
Get it!
And I don't know where this comes from. It's like a mama bear instinct. I take the edge of my hand and I like smack it off her hand. And I don't even know where I got the courage to do that. I did not get stung. That scorpion died right there, because after it was on the ground, I took my shoe off and I'm like, you're dying. And I'm like, bam, 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 bam. Like, because that's how you deal with scorpions.
It made Pulp Fiction look gentle. Gotcha.
Yes. So it's like, it's funny because if you think of me looking at a scorpion, now we're going to like progress a few years down the road. We're walking in San Diego. We go on a family vacation in San Diego, me, my husband, my 2 kids. And we turn around and all of a sudden my son, who is like 5 or 6 at the time, has a popsicle stick in his mouth. He wasn't eating a popsicle. We didn't buy him any popsicles. He had found a popsicle stick on the ground and had put it in his mouth. And I know, my husband, who is so much more like germ phobic than I am, I'm just like, a little dirt won't hurt. Let's strengthen the immune system there. Think of me slapping the scorpion off my daughter. This is what my husband did with the popsicle stick. He's like, Eric! Woo! And the popsicle stick flies out of Eric's mouth, and Eric's like, what happened there? And we're like, babe, you don't put used popsicle sticks in your mouth. That's no.
Oh my God, what was on that popsicle stick?
I don't know. He's fine.
Okay, I will. Similar area. Let's see. Flashback to my kids were probably like 3 and 4 at the most. We were at a local park, and we're all just kind of playing around in the grass, whatever. And my daughter had ran off and was like looking at flowers, and she comes back with something, and I'm like, "What is that?" And it was a glass crack pipe. Yeah,
she put a crack pipe in her mouth.
It was by her mouth, and I freaked out. Right? We are like, I don't know. We had walked to the park and pulling the kids in a wagon. So I want to say it was like a 20-minute walk back to our house. And I'm like, I'm not waiting that long. So I run up to these houses around the park. I'm knocking like a crazy lady. I went to like 2 houses before somebody answered the door. Probably because they were like, who is this crazy lady screaming while knocking? Please open the door. And then like the first person to open the door, I'm all like, my daughter, she picked up this crack pipe at the park. And the lady goes, say no more. Bathroom's right there. And like ran us in. She caught poison control even like while I'm in there washing her. God love other moms. Like we just understand. My husband at the time was like, okay, I think you're kind of like reacting crazy. And he was, I mean, he did agree it was a bad situation, but he thought I was because you know me. And I think the listeners know me. I go to level 10 in like a split second when I'm freaked out about something. So, but thank God for the mom that opened the door to the crazy lady because Audrey had a crack pipe.
Gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, if you're enjoying these stories, we have a few more for you right after this.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day. And that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Every cup of Nespresso coffee is an invitation to transform your morning routine into a ritual you can treasure each and every day. Using the Virtuo Pop, a simple touch of the button freshly brews bold aromas and a rich, velvety crema layer for delicious cafe-quality coffee at home. Whether you enjoy your coffee hot or over ice, every sip, every morning is unforgettable. Nothing tastes like Nespresso coffee. Visit Nespresso.com or our app to explore our full range of easy-to-use machines and coffees not found anywhere else.
So one thing I always think of, like with my kids, is like, you know how kids say things that are kind of like embarrassing sometimes, or a little disturbing.
Oh yes.
My daughter was so good at those when she was younger. And I mean, she still says them now, but she says them in like the sarcastic, funny way. Like she is hilarious. She's like the funniest person in the world. And she knows this and she would admit this. She's like, I'm very funny. I'm like, you are very funny. But when she was younger, we went to Scotland on a family trip and we went to go see Holyrood Castle, which is in Scotland. And they talked about the murder of Queen Mary. Because, that royal family, they just killed each other.
I know, man.
Especially when Henry VIII was involved. My goodness.
Hey, but it made for a great musical. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's 6.
Yes.
6 is wonderful. But we were walking away, and here she was, a little 3-year-old, turning up to us and be like, but I want to see where Queen Mary died. Where did she die? I want to go see where she died. And we're like, you're 3. Okay.
And
this isn't creepy.
And don't let somebody walk by and hear that sentence out of context. But where did she die?
But where did she die?
I want to see where she died.
Because I talked to her about it now, and she has a fascination in history. And so she's just like, I just wanted to see the history. I don't know why you guys think it was such a big deal. I'm like, it wasn't
You're
a
like,
big
you
deal,
don't understand. You were 3.
3-year-old.
Yeah, that's what made it weird.
I mean, it was that, and then contrast it with once I was having this discussion with her about, body habits and hygiene and everything. And she was really young, like 4. And we just talked about picking noses. And because she was like picking your nose. And I'm like, oh, you have to get that stuff out of your nose. But just don't do it in front of people. Make sure you have it, do it in the bathroom or something like that.
And use a tissue, then you don't have to flick it off your finger.
And use a tissue. Yeah. Just
or
instructing in a general way.
My kids do. Okay, sorry, go on.
So we were at this, we had family over to our house. I think it was a holiday or something. And all of a sudden, this little 4-year-old in this little floral dress and stuff, stops mid-sentence and starts going up the stairs. And I'm like, hey, Cam, where are you going? And she's like, I'm going to go pick my nose.
Oh, my God. I'm going to go read a book. I'm going to go pick my nose. See you later, guys.
Yep. I'm going to go pick my nose. But she's always very adult about it and very matter of fact. And I think that's always what has been so hilarious.
Oh, my God.
It's just this is how things are. And it's okay. So it's funny.
See, I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 2. This one was the first time I took my kids to Mexico on a trip because again, we're in Arizona, guys, it's closer to go to Mexico than it is California. So, but anyway, when we went to Mexico and we got a condo and it was all 3 of the kids and Miguel and I, and we decided it would be cheaper to buy our food down there in Mexico and then make food in the condo and stuff rather than going out to eat all the time. So we're at the grocery store and the kids will not leave Miguel's on my side. My kids won't. And they're probably 13 and 12. And we're going around and I'm like, what do you guys want to eat? And they're like, I don't care. I don't care. Is there anything normal here? And I'm like, it's a grocery store. Everything is normal here. So I pick out a bag of Doritos. I'm like, you guys want these? And I pick up a bag of potato chips. Or do you want these? And they both looked at each other and looked at me and they're like, we don't know what those are. And I'm like, what? It says Doritos right here. And they're like, but everything's in Spanish. And I'm like, oh my God, it's the exact same bag. The word Doritos with maybe one accent over one letter. It's just, you can see in the bag. It's the same chips. And they're like, we don't know what that says in Spanish. You could say anything. I'm like, Miguel had to talk
go learn
me.
Spanish, child.
Oh, that kid Miguel had to talk me off a ledge there. I was like,
yeah,
what? Oh, where's the normal food? It's all normal food, kids. It's just in a different language.
Yeah. My kids get so embarrassed when I try to speak the nation's language in the nation.
Oh.
They're like, Mom, when we went down to Mexico and I was speaking Spanish, she's like, Mom, don't speak Spanish. Obviously, I am not fluent. I do not have a perfect accent. I of course mispronounce words, but I am trying. And she's like, Mom, you sound like a gringo. I'm like, I am.
Yeah.
I am one. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I am. And so they got on me about that. So I take it to the extreme since they get on me about everything. And we're like, we travel a lot. We travel a lot. So don't like when I say like, oh yeah, we went to Mexico, we went to Paris. Don't like, it's very weird having that come out of my mouth because I did not travel as a child.
But as this
at all.
episode airs, young lady, you'll be in France. So
I will be in France. Yeah. So we're going to France. And we've been before. But I was this morning, I dressed up in my outfit from Armoire. I actually told Armoire, also a podcast sponsor, guys, they're amazing. I was like, please send me outfits that make me look like a chic Parisian and not an American tourist. And so I got this lovely shirt dress that was very Parisian, and I was wearing it with a trench coat this morning. And I was sitting in Starbucks and I told Eric, I'm like, I am pretending I am in a Paris cafe. I am sipping my cold brew, which is not very Parisian. I would have like a little croissant or something. I'm sipping my cold brew. And he's like, yep, you're not in a Paris cafe. And I'm like, but I'll speak French. Oh, his eyes go so wide because I've embarrassed him so much with my little French like imitation, which I would never use. I only do it just to embarrass them. And he's like, Mom, don't do that in public.
Yeah.
But it's like the kind of things we do to get a rise out of our kids too, because sometimes their sensitivities about the things we do are just so out there. We're like, let's just take it all the way.
It's so perfect. It is so perfect.
Yeah.
100. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I don't have one of me embarrassing them at the moment. I mean, there's so many to pick from. I'm sure if my kids were here, they could share a billion.
They would get embarrassed about anything.
Yeah.
Anything at all.
Okay, I've got two.
If I dance in public, I showed them my pictures of me at the conference at Funnel Hacking Live, dancing on the chairs and like doing my light sticks. Oh my gosh. As soon as my son saw it, he averted his eyes and he's like, oh my gosh. And I don't do it. It's like everybody was like not every, but there were tons of people dancing on their chairs too. It wasn't like I was doing this weird thing.
If they were there, they would have gotten it, but they're not. And so
I don't think they would have. I thought they would have sat in their chairs the entire time and been so embarrassed about the whole environment. That's what they did when I brought them to Mexico. And it was like that.
Really? Oh, that's a bummer. Well, you know what? With age comes that whole I don't give a crap. Like I used to refuse to leave the house without being in full makeup. And now I only put on makeup when I know I have to be on camera. And even then, it's only half on sometimes. So it's crazy how that's different. That's crazy. Okay, wait. I have two more good ones. All right. So this happened last week. My oldest had a full-on flat tire, Joanne. Like he pulled into the house, like, because he goes back and forth between his dad's house and mine. And so it was Friday. It's his transition day. He came over here and I'm like, and I walk outside, or actually, no, Miguel walks in because he showed up like a few minutes after him and was like, do you know Robert has a flat tire? And I'm like, what? And I go out there and it's completely flat, guys. There was no air in the back driver's side tire. Now you might be asking yourself, why are you making such a big deal about this? Well, because then we immediately went to Robert and was like, hey, Robert, how'd you get a flat tire? And he goes, what are you talking about? I have a flat tire? We're like, yeah. And he goes, well, maybe it just needs a little bit more air. We're like, no, kind of more than that. He comes downstairs and he looks at it and he just goes, huh, can I borrow your car? I got to go to work in a little while. We're just like, didn't even like, boo, nothing. Not even a slight tinge of fear of the flat tire. How long was that kid driving on it? I got no answer. And I'm like, he's like, I didn't see it. How could you not see it? It literally shows up in your side view mirror. Are you not checking your mirrors? Never mind. Don't answer that. I don't want to know. Like,
yeah. So
there is that one. But my favorite one, the top tier of things my kids have said that made me go, what the hell? We were filling out an intake form at a doctor's office, and my kiddo like wanted to do the majority of it themselves, but they also were trying to get it done quickly. So I was like, listen, I'll just read you and you just tell me the answer and I'll write it really fast. And so the question was, is there sometimes no food in your house? Because it was going through like a checklist of questions for child safety, right? And my kid goes, yes, sometimes there is no food in the house. And I'm like, wait, what? And they were like, well, I mean, sometimes there's just nothing to eat. And I'm like, wait a second. We'll come back to that one. The next question is, do you not always have clean clothes to wear to school and such? And again, my child said yes. And I'm like, I put the pen down. I'm like, okay, we need to talk. I was trying to let you answer this on your own, but they're not asked, because I was like, how do we not have food? Well, there's nothing good to eat. I'm like, that's not what the question
There we
says.
go. That's not it. Yeah.
Question says, is there any food? And then I'm like, how do you not have clean clothes? And my child's answer was, well, if I didn't have time to do my laundry that week. And I'm like, that's not what they mean. That is not what they mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, those two. Oh,
I know. It's like you try to give them the independence and then like, it's not even their fault. That question is so ambiguously worded.
well, they're going to get CPS called on me. I'm going to have Child Protective Services knocking at my door, and I'll be like, go up and look at our pantry. She will tell you there's nothing in there to eat.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things that's like, I think that it puts a lot of fear in us as moms because that is ambiguously worded. If any child was answering that, they would answer the same as your children.
Yeah.
They would be like completely black and white thinking, do I have food to eat? No, I don't like any food to eat. So no. Like it's just how kids think.
Mhm.
There's no nuance. There's nothing. So it's like to ask that question of a child, you really have to specify exactly what you're asking.
Yes.
Like be like, does it mean
It doesn't
no
mean that.
good food? It means like your belly, you're starving all the time. And you have like, yeah. So I have a thing with those questions.
So I'm curious, like, do any of these stories resonate with you? What are some of the really good stories that you have from your kids when they were little that
Yes.
just make you go, oh my God, I can't believe it happened and that we
Yes.
lived?
Please email us, hello@NoGuiltMom, your stories. And we want to invite you to come on the podcast and tell your story. We think that would be a lot of fun to hear it directly from you. So email us, hello@NoGuiltMom with your kids' stories. And you might be getting an email back for an invitation to come on the show.
Yes, I want to do that. I think that'd be so much fun. So come. And you know where
Yes.
else they can come hang out with us too and also could share some of this? We do have a free No Guilt Mom podcast group on Facebook. You can come and join.
Yes.
We chat with you in there. We share story ideas, all of that jazz. It's fun.
Everything. And you get to chat with other moms. So until next time, remember, the best mom's a happy mom. Take care of you. And we'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media @NoGuiltMom. You can also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.
Are you a parent in need of a laugh and a little escape? Look no further. Parenting is a Joke is the podcast you've been waiting for. Hey, I'm Ophira Eisenberg. I'm a stand-up comic and parent. And each week I chat with one of my top comedian pals who, just like you, are juggling careers, busy lives and schedules, and raising a family. You can expect candid stories, hilarious mishaps that happen on stage and at home, and just a lot of laughs. There's no expert advice here. Well, actually, sometimes a good idea does sneak its way in, but mostly just pure, relatable fun to remind you that we're all in this parenting adventure together. New episodes of Parenting is a Joke drop every Tuesday, so tune in, get ready to laugh, unwind, and maybe even feel a little bit better about your own parenting. Because sometimes that's exactly what your therapist, pediatrician, and bartender ordered. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast platform.